They may be arguing over a cheese plate, but these bitches are fierce from the gate. It's time for another episode of Aunt and Andrew, starting now, about rhony, where family's everything.
Until it's not. Hi, I'm Aunt.
I'm Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. I don't know. I wasn't digging New York. What can I say?
Tell me why first. I need to.
I don't know who they are.
Okay, so
that's why.
Problem.
I keep on getting Brynn and Erin mixed up. They're too similar, and
Which ones?
Brynn and Erin, and their names both end with N's. So I think
they're so different though. Brynn is like Sonia.
Which one is she? Like, see what I mean?
Brynn is the one that's like that looks
hates
a little bit
cheese. I like the one who has. I like Erin better. How's that?
I like Erin, but I'll say Brynn is. She looks like Catherine from Southern Charm a little bit.
No, she looks like somebody else. She looks like somebody who was on a soap opera once. I'm gonna have to think about it.
I did like. I thought she was funny and snarky. I really like.
I just don't care about these women. I'm not sure if I like any of them.
Well, you just met them. You
yeah, I don't know, but it's like I loved Vicki Gunvalson from the get-go.
Okay.
Like I didn't need any time to know I liked Vicki Gunvalson. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know if I'm ever gonna like any of them. You know what it is? They're all new. And every other franchise, they have a weave of the old in there. Is there any franchise that doesn't still have an oldie?
Well, there's a new franchise. I mean,
it's not a new franchise. It's New York.
Yes, but it's I think that they did it perfectly. Like, I just think you need to give it a shot.
I'm going to give it a shot, but I don't know if I'm ever going to care about any of them. How's that? They're too young and they're too prepped. That's what it is. When you come into when you're a veteran, you kind of like show the new girls the way, and this is how we do it. And they're all new. It's too much new for me.
I just think it's far more representative of mothers, like housewives or that age group in New York City right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I just telling you, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to care for any of them. We'll see.
Now, like, what's interesting is, and we've talked about this on the last episode we did, was that with the Jill Zarin and Bethany Frankel interview, if by listening to that and then watching this episode, there's absolutely nothing in common between the two.
Nothing.
But I also think not just in a way where like those women are people we know and people that we followed. These women are not going to have the same drama that those women did. It's not.
They might have more.
Same. Maybe, but it's going to be, I think, a far more. Like, there's not going to be like, they're just unique, right? Like the New York women were just all so unique because whatever way you wanted to spin it, they all joined the Real Housewives back in the day so that they could be in the page 6 of the New York Post. Like, that's truly what they wanted. Like, they all wanted to be that celebrity. I think now housewives come on for different reasons. And I think they come on
to
for
promote their brand.
Yeah. And I think the thing with this group of women that I like is that
they all already have a brand.
They're all legit.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to just tell you, I'm not sold. That's all.
See, I have to tell you, I think your daughter would like it more than any other Housewives franchise when she doesn't really like the Housewives as much.
I don't know. You know what? They're really shallow to me. Really shallow. Really shallow.
I love how she said, I found out everything about my husband and then I fixed it all and then I married him.
Well, that's good. That's what we all should do. Is Jenna gay?
I think that she's,
because I'm confused.
I think that she is she bisexual, but is she
have no idea.
I don't know if she said it. I'm not going to go searching. Let's wait and see
But I want to tell you, she has a she has an Anna Wintour kind of devil with Prada Wintour. You know what I mean? She has that vibe. Like she would be horrible to work with. And that she walks around making it out like she eats just cheese and nonstop. And let's face it, none of these skinny women are eating anything. And if they're eating something, they're getting rid of it before the night's over. I mean, I just can't take, like, okay, in The Devil Wears Prada, they talk about how every day they have to go get Miranda, we'll state the character, Miranda, a big, huge steak, and it has to be like rare. And she gobbles that up. And I don't believe any woman is eating a steak that big and stays as thin as Miss Anna is.
I think she's more like Kelly Catrone from The Hills.
Well, she's not Nina Garcia. How's that?
She's not Anna Wintour, though. Like, she wasn't ever an editor.
She was giving, but just, she has that vibe. I mean, the kind of a steel.
Really?
And I didn't find any warmth in her. That's why I'm saying no warmth.
I didn't find much warmth in Erin, even though she had her whole family over, including her 12 children.
Yeah. No, I didn't find any warmth from any of them, by the way. That maybe Ubah. That's what's is she the one that loves bananas?
Yeah, and she's Jenna Lyons from Real Housewives of Dubai's cousin.
Oh, is she? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
She said that on Watch What Happens Live. And
I didn't watch it.
Know. He had on the whole cast, and she's
very pretty.
She said something along the lines of like, "Oh, so you know Jenna Lyons," and then all of a sudden Ubah goes, "Oh yeah, she's my cousin." And Andy was like, "Oh, okay." But then again, like, they're both from the Middle East. Like, it could be like one of 100 cousins. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
They could be. Yeah.
And I'm not.
Sometimes they have 1,000 wives.
Sai, the girl that lives in Brooklyn, her daughter's gorgeous. Like, gorgeous. One of the little kids that was in the kitchen, like similar.
I think I missed that. They didn't grab my attention. I'm going to be honest. I don't know anybody's name but Brynn, Jenna, and Erin.
I loved how Jessel goes.
Which one's Jessel?
Jessel, I think she's either Iranian or the Indian.
One,
who is mother when Jenna
the
went
mother
to her
who's
house.
At the house. Yeah.
And Jenna went to her house, and she goes, "We both work in fashion. You don't get to know someone well just until." And then I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you go on a star on a show together? Is that when you get to know each other?
Yeah,
really
that's
well?
when you get to know each other well.
There's no other reason. Or
you
would have gotten to know each other well prior to being on Bravo.
Yeah. I just kept on thinking to myself that when they had the party at Jenna's house, that they all need name tags, because I didn't know who the heck they were. I'm going to be honest with you. They need name tags.
Okay, but I get it. But you just started watching it. It's not about you.
She did have a real
Vanderpump Rules.
She did have a real J. Crew vibe, though. I could see J. Crew in her and on her, and but I don't know how long she's been gone from J. Crew. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think J. Crew's as good as it used to be. So maybe it was because of Jenna.
I have to say that I like how she was very open and honest about how she started in like a third assistant and was able to come up
good
that far.
For her. Yeah, but I would say if she was really in charge of J. Crew, it's not as good as it used to be. So there, I said it. I used to buy stuff there from there all the time. Now I hardly even go to the outlet.
Yeah, no, I mean, she clearly is at the top of her game. I mean, whatever way you spin it, like, if you're doesn't matter who the first lady is, if you're dressing the first lady because she's with your brand, that's amazing.
Her closet's to die for, though.
You know who I thought about?
Yes,
I thought about your daughter when I did that.
Die
she
for
loves
her
fashion.
Closet was fabulous until you sit down. The seats are for looks only.
They're I mean, what an ugly chair.
Yeah, I know, to do that with. I also I want to say that when you go to someone's house for the first time, like these ladies are doing, housewarming gifts are tricky.
Very. And also, I liked how Erin goes, really, I love how Erin blamed it on the rain.
Yeah, I know. She didn't wear a coat either. So, but I just thought, well, you have to bring something. It's always this huge a weight of, you want to bring something nice, but half the time it's just going to end up like wherever when you bring it, because you don't even really know the person. That's why I usually bring Godiva chocolates. Nobody throws them out.
Exactly. That's a good idea. I mean, I'll tell you this, that one thing that I liked as a gay man, because I have no stake in the game, but I liked how Erin, when she was talking about her husband and how when they first started getting together, she found a thong behind his bed. I liked how she said she
found phones behind his bed.
No, she said couple thongs.
A thongs? I thought she said a couple of phones.
No, a couple thongs. I like that she said that, because I just think that, like, okay,
that means he doesn't clean.
It doesn't really, my point is I like how she was open and honest and said she was having fun when she was single, because you know what, at the end of the day, you being single, you should do what you want. No guy, no girl should be slut shamed for what they did prior to meeting you.
Yeah. Well, I thought she said he had phones behind it. That's funny. That's funny. And I want to say that bringing wine's very cliche, but I do love a little baby gherkin.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
a little,
the little baby gherkins. I think they're just lovely.
Sweet or sour.
Yeah, Swedish. I like Swedish. I like when they're a little sweet, and it's almost like a piece of candy.
Yeah, I mean, I love it how they've distanced themselves over a cheese plate.
I know, and I also want to say I do not like elevators that enter into your apartment. There's something very freaky about them. See, this is, I'm not connecting with these women. So this is what I picked up on the first episode. At Jenna's, you went up the elevator, you open the door, you're in her living room. I think that's weird. I don't ever, no matter how much money I ever had, if I won the Powerball, which I didn't win last night, by the way.
Neither did I.
Okay. I didn't even have one number, so I really wasn't close at all. And I never want an apartment with an elevator directly into it.
Yeah, because if you heard it coming up and you weren't expecting anyone, it's like a slow shish kebab to your death.
How do they control that? Do you only open it? But once they're on the other side, what's stopping the axe murderer from banging on the door? I don't know.
And even if you know someone that's coming up, what if someone like had a gun to their head and was making them come up?
I don't like it. I mean, either. You know what? You could do the same thing in a regular elevator. I just don't like that elevator shaft is there. And what if you sleepwalk and you haven't called the elevator and you open the door and you plummet? I'm just saying, these are things I don't like about them.
Erin looks like Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, maybe that's who she looks like, a young one, but she looks like somebody else too. I'm telling you, she looks like, I'm going to find her, the girl who was the original, she was on As the World Turns, and she was the original Emily Stewart.
No, you're not talking, no, we're talking about different people.
No, we're not. Oh, you're talking about Erin. I'm talking about Brynn. I'm going to tell you, Brynn looks like, I'm going to find her name while we're talking. She was the original Emily Stewart. If you go all the way back to As the World Turns.
I like how,
and then you can add it up.
This ingenious statement that Erin said when she walked into Jenna's house, when she said, Jenna's weird. Jenna doesn't like dill, but she likes parsley. Jenna likes olives, but she doesn't like the black ones. That's called having choices and preferences, and it's very normal. Right?
I don't have anything to say. I don't know. I like I said, I don't care enough about these people yet. Maybe I'll care about the fact they like dill or parsley in 5 episodes, but right now, I don't care for them.
Okay, but you're hosting a podcast to talk about them, so you have to try.
Yes, and I'm telling you, I don't really like them. I
just don't think you like change. I think you like the housewives that are more representative of your age. You're ageist. You don't like young
I am housewives. An ageist. I like a crazy 50 plus housewife. Yeah, there, I said it.
See, like, I agree.
The youngest cast by far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. I like them when they have.
I also
Melanie Smith. Melanie Smith. Look up Melanie Smith, and she looks like her.
Did this give you a reason? Did this make you understand?
Melanie Smith is my age. That must be why.
Exactly.
But she does look like Melanie Smith, a young Melanie Smith who had an epic scene in As the World Turns, where she did a tango, and I'm going to tell you, it's gone down in history as like one of the best soap opera scenes ever.
Does this give you more understanding of why they were so far along with Rhony Legacy, just because of how different they are?
Oh, they're completely different.
Yeah,
everything about them is different. I don't, like I said, I'm sure I like Legacy better. Because see, with Legacy, you had a weave of in and out, so you still had your comfort zone while you explored.
No, Legacy would be no one new.
No, I understand that, but I understand in me for a minute.
Legacy was going to be everyone old.
I understand that. I'm saying usually when a housewives come on for a season,
Oh yeah,
and there are new characters, you have the old ones who are your comfort zone as you weave in the new ones, This is all just new. It's kind of like if you went to the same place all the time on vacation and you're comfortable there. And then the next year you go someplace completely different, right? Completely different mode of transportation, everything else. And you kind of wish you were at the older place.
The thing is I think that what this all boils down to is that you love things that are familiar to you, but you like when they change a little bit. So you like familiar. It's like, I get it. It's why you go to Disney so much.
Yeah, I like the same thing.
You're familiar with it, but
yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Time you go, there's another dozen new things that you can explore.
I don't like that arc on a vacation. I don't like when you go somewhere new and it takes you 2 or 3 days to get used to it. And then you only have 2 or 3 days to enjoy it because in 2 or 3 days you got to pack.
Well, the good thing is there's probably another 15 episodes. So hopefully you'll know their names by episode 3.
But anyways, that's all I got to say about New York. If you have anything else to say about it, congratulations. Maybe next week I'll have more.
I did listen to the rest of the Jill's, Erin, and Bethany podcast.
It was great.
I'm blown away by the truth behind Bobby's funeral.
Yeah, I know.
Because all of it checks out.
It does check out.
She wouldn't sue. She wouldn't sue. She doesn't care. No. And also it shows exactly why the others were not mic'd up at the funeral, why they weren't on camera, because they did that for Bethany. And I believe that Bethany had no idea that Jill didn't know and that the others weren't mic'd up too. I think she thought she was just going. And I think she truly thought that she was just a part of a bigger thing that was happening. And because her reaction seemed very genuine, that she didn't know, that Jill didn't know.
Yeah, I think that they all have people who tell them things, and those people have weaved the truth with their own little embellishment of the truth. And I think that was a tough time for Jill, and she probably doesn't remember everything that went down. And they probably all have very different ideas of what happened because they all have different perspective of what happened that day. And Jill, I'm sure, was medicated or whatever.
I have to say, I love how they go, someone who used to work for me. That's who was my boss. And I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to say it. I think there's a reason why, because for years they kept saying his name. And I have a feeling he kind of at one point was like, I don't want my name thrown around, like on the show, off the show, about the show. Like, I think he did that at the time, and he's evolved and he represents other people now. And I think that that's the case. But what was interesting was that.
Do you think she's married now?
Jill.
Yes. Jill.
Yeah, I think she got married just quietly, but I still find it crazy that, like, I mean, maybe she really has changed. I thought it was great to hear that, like, Gary was there and that, what's his name? And
Gary talks about Bobby more than she does.
Than Jill does. I know. I love how Bethany, like, set the story straight around, like, how Bobby's the one really that orchestrated it.
Yes.
I thought it was really fascinating. Like, I loved how they told how, like, Jill was like, thought the show was dead, but then decided to bring the producer to Polo.
Yeah, I know. And the funny part is they said that you couldn't pay them to go to Polo now.
Yeah, I love that too. I love that they both said that. Yeah. I think that it shows exactly of who Jill's Erin is
now.
Well, no, I find it exactly of who Jill was
she
then.
Is now.
And also of who she was then. I mean, Jill was like,
no, she was a firebrand.
I mean, like, I think that Bethany really said, like, Jill truly.
Bethany should be very grateful to Jill. And maybe that's some of the animosity between them. And I can understand it from Jill's perspective, because without Jill, Bethany never would have been on this show. And without that, Bethany wouldn't be a gazillionaire right now. So, but Bethany probably also feels that she had a lifetime of building her brand and what she was going to do. And she was the one that came on and would say at every bar, I want a skinny girl margarita. I want a skinny girl margarita. I want a skinny girl margarita. She already had that brand. And then she would give the recipe to every single bartender. So she probably felt like, I had a lifetime of work behind this. Yeah, you brought me, but you didn't give me the ideas. I had the ideas. And I always thought that Jill wanted more credit for making Bethany a star, and Bethany felt, I've been doing this for a long time. I was on the Celebrity Apprentice and everything else, so I'm not new. I was already on Celebrity Apprentice, and if I'm not, I don't think she was on Celebrity Apprentice. I think she was on
Apprentice.
No, I think she was on not Celebrity. I don't think she was on The Apprentice. She might have been on Martha Stewart's Apprentice.
I think so.
Because there were two.
I think she was on the one Bill Rancic was on.
Oh, well, then that's The Apprentice.
But I don't know. We'd have to check that. I think it was interesting to see how they were able to come to the conclusion that as much as, like, I liked how Bethany said, like, exactly what you said. Bethany had a product to market the minute she walked on. Luann had the Countess. She was the Countess, you know, that was her big thing. And then you had Ramona with True Faith Jewelry, and Alex McCord was a lost dog. But then you look at Jill, and like Jill should have at the time, in my opinion, Jill really would have, I think, made it big if she had done more of like a home or a bedding line from the start and really played off of Zarin Fabrics and like started there. But I think that she wasn't. I think there's a lot of drama with the Zarins and like Jill and how she fits in. And I know a lot of that has come post Bobby, but at the same time, I think that Bethany hit the nail on the head there when she said, like, you know, Jill was envious that Bethany had something to market and had something to really take off. But I also believe Jill where she says, I wanted to just be there with you, because a lot
Yes, I do, because she felt she was responsible. And I want to tell you, Bethany was on The Apprentice. Martha Stewart, she was the runner up.
Okay.
So there. Right. And that was what was interesting is you had The Apprentice back then, and it was the hottest show. It was the hottest show. And then they brought on Martha Stewart, The Apprentice, for more those home brands of people who were like, you know, a cook, a home thing, not building buildings, but the Martha Stewart. And then Martha Stewart went to prison, and that was like the end.
Wow. Interesting.
So that's why I think Bethany says I was on The Apprentice, because The Apprentice name kind of has a little bit more pull to it than The Apprentice Martha Stewart version.
Totally.
So they 100%. Were by the same people.
Yeah, I love to hear the process. I love to hear it. I wish them the best as friends. I really have to say this. I'll put it on the record. It seems that I think everyone would agree. This is your friendship to lose, Jill.
I think that they shouldn't put too much I don't think they should put too much pressure on each other.
But that's what Jill has to watch more than Bethany.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Jill has to text her, and about 5, 6, 7 days later going, oh, we're getting a lot of buzz on that. It was great being on your show. Have a good weekend. That's how it should go. Not a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Because Jill could go, what are you doing? Do you want to go out to eat? How's Allie? How's Brynn? Did you? I saw your. She could go on and on and on. I'm saying, Jill, if you're out there listening, which I'm sure you're not, you need to say, wow, we're getting a lot of buzz. That was
I don't even
amazing.
think she'll have to. I think Bethany would write to her first about that.
Well, it doesn't matter, but it should be,
because that's also Bethany's responsibility as a friend too. If you know your friend needs the validation and you see firsthand that you're getting more views on this episode than any other episode that you've done,
right?
Put your money where your mouth is and tell your friend. Don't blow smoke in her face. But when it's the truth, tell her. Be like, oh my God, we have a hit. This episode's killing it. And be like, thank you so much again. Like, I'm so happy we were able to do this. Like, let's see each other in the next like month in the Hamptons or something like that. But no, like Bethany
don't even. That's too much pressure.
But Bethany should be the one to say it, because when you know that Jill's the one that wanted more,
it was great. Have a good weekend.
It's her podcast. So how is Jill going to know that? How is Jill going to know the ratings? Bethany knows them.
Well,
so
because
Bethany
they're getting buzz. Because when I've pulled up Google, they're there. So
yeah,
that's
I get
what
that.
I'm saying.
But what I'm trying to say is
that
knows. Bethany,
Jill Zarin, trust me, Jill Zarin has Google alerts on herself.
I'm sure she does, but she's not going to get the stats on the podcast. Bethany is.
No,
and
I
Bethany
know that.
should then tell Jill.
Should I Google alert myself?
I mean, if you want to see nothing.
I know, that's so funny. I'm gonna Google alert aunt.
Well, then you'll get too much. Much. Well, listen, I think that New York's going to be much better than you think. I think you have to.
We'll see. The verdict is out for me.
I think they're manic, and we love manic. So we'll see.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully we hopefully we could see some fun scandals. Hopefully we get to see a little you know, just some fun stuff. We know a lot's happening in New York City, so you better show up, show us everything you got. Like us, subscribe us, comments. We love the comments.
Love the comments.
Bye, guys.